All right, let's get started on figuring out how this whole grid thing works. I've talked a little bit about it, but let's get into it a little more. So you've already done this, but just to make sure you've got it, the website you should be at is learningwithlynch.weebly.com. That is the website we will be using the entire year. That's where all of our materials are, and that should be bookmarked. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and do that already, or ask me for some help. But let's go ahead and get going. So you are mainly going to use this workspace tab, and you notice there's Math 6, Math A, depending on which math class you are in. I'm just going to go through the Math 6 one for now because it looks the same for Math A in general for what we're going to need. So when you are working on the grid, okay, you will have your workspace that you'll come to. So it'll either say Math 6 workspace or it'll say Math A workspace. And when you look on here, it has these classroom tools. I will talk about those more in later videos, but there are tools you're going to use throughout the entire year. And here's the intro grid that we're starting on. So you should feel familiar with this because I should have spoken to this, but just so you know, this is where everything will be. So when you have a new packet, a new unit, the picture for the packet will be here, just like in the intro grid. And right now you can kind of see a preview of what our next one will be. It's not ready yet, but it will be soon. So you just click on the picture. It will take you to our grid. So at the top, I will talk more about these in the very next video about the calendar and the packet, but those are at the top. Some rules that we will get to later, but here is our grid. Okay, this is how all of them will always look. They might have different sections and things like that, but it will always look like this. As far as level 1 being at the bottom, you move up, level 2, so on and so forth. So let me explain how it works. So every single grid, unless there is for some specific reason I tell you otherwise, you will always start in level 1A, okay? And so level 1 is like the very basics of what you need to know, and it will get a little more challenging as you go. So you always start at the top of a section and then you move down through the videos. So like for example, you started here with this video of how to use the grid. So you start at the top and you work through that accordingly. Now sometimes like this one, it's just a video you need to listen to. Others it might be a part of your notes in your packet, or maybe you have an activity in your packet you need to do before moving on. Those will be indicated here, but you need to be able to have your packet out as well when you're watching these videos. They go hand in hand, okay? So as you move down through the materials in that section, then you move over to the top of the next section, and again, work your way down through the videos and activities. You do that all the way through the end here, where you keep going up to the top, down through, then you go up to the top of the next section, down through, and at the end of each section you'll notice how it says formative assessment. You'll learn more about these in just a bit, but that is how you kind of test to see how you're doing in that level so far. What do we understand? What do we need to work on before we get to that end test, or what we call a summative, okay? There'll be little check-ins along the way too that we'll talk more about later, but that's basically how it works. So once you get done with this part of the section or the level, then you move up to level 2 and you start again at the top of the section. So the next one here is E, and you work your way down. Now you notice how there's less sections here. Well, that's because you've started to learn some of the information already. So now we're deepening our knowledge. So it may not be as many tasks you need to do, but it's still more information that you need. We're pushing to the next level, hence why it's level 2, to deepen our understanding of the material. So you do the same thing, go top to bottom, all the way to the end. Here's another assessment at the end of the level. When you finish that, go up to the next level, etc., etc. Okay? I'll talk more about what each level means later on, but there will always be 5 levels to the grid, and usually the level you need to get through is level 3. I'll talk more about that in just another video, but that's the general idea of the grid. Okay? If you need to ask any questions, feel free. Otherwise, move on to the next video. Good luck.